Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the room already. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If you guys can, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji if you can hear me okay. If you guys cannot hear me okay, give me a thumbs down or an angry face, and I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the room. All right. Shout out to Savion Draco Zero. What's good with it, bro? Good morning. And shout out to Black Free Thinker. What's good with you? Good morning. All right. So let's get into this. All right. This is going to be an interesting and unique stream. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible because I got another one coming up. In order to watch that, all you got to do is just stay in this stream. After it ends, it'll take you right in there. Shout out to Denise Baker. How you doing, Denise? Welcome to the stream. So after the stream, what I need everybody to do who watches this stream is to first watch it all the way through. And then we're going to need to leave in the comment section everything that you see as a problem with this 2-minute news clip from NBC. We're going to discuss some things. All right. And it's okay if you put in the comment section some of the things that we discuss. But I want everybody's particular take on this because remember, this is data collection. This is data gathering, right? And the thing is that NBC right now is running propaganda. They're running interference for Jim Crow Joe. And it's honestly a bad look. It's embarrassing. And I don't know if anybody was aware of this, but I'm going to let you guys know something that you might not have known. Jim Clyburn is Steven from Django. Okay? Jim Clyburn is happily Steven from Django. That is an embarrassing old man. He's probably the only grandfather in the world that cannot get his grandkids to take a picture with him. He's probably the only grandparent in the world whose grandkids don't look up to him. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be lonely when you're Jim Clyburn, which is one of the reasons why you would be Joe Biden's South Carolina Steven from Django. This dude is a absolute clown. You know what I'm saying? And so is NBC. NBC is a clown. They need to get railed. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to rail them. We are going to rail them for this idiotic, valueless, 2-minute piece of content crap that they put out. Okay? Like I said, in the comment section here and after the video, I need everybody to identify and timestamp everything that's wrong with this video because these people are crazy. Okay? These people are crazy. They are just blatantly ignoring issues that people have. Shout out to Lamar Jones. What's good with it, bro? Blatantly ignoring. Okay? Let's check it out. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all. If you guys have not smashed the like button yet, we got 18 people watching. We got 19 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 25, that would be wonderful. All right? Shout out to Tony Taylor. What's good with it, bro? So right now, we already got Joe Biden looking wild. He's already looking wild. You know what I'm saying? It's dusk outside, you can tell. And he's got his eyes squinted up like he's staring directly into the sun, which, by the way, he probably does quite often. You know what I'm saying?
Tonight, President Biden back in South Carolina.
I heard about this.
Now, you see who's behind him? Just like how Tim Scott was behind Donald Trump. Somebody had said, I forget what video. I was watching a video about that Tim Scott stuff, and it was like, yeah, Tim Scott has put his support behind Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, what actually happened was he actually put his support behind Donald Trump's behind. Like that's like actually what happened. You know what I'm saying? He put himself behind Donald Trump's behind. Like there was nothing about any support. Like old boy was looking mad suspect. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You feel me? Shout out to Kitty Queen. Welcome, Kitty Queen. What's good with it? And we got Miss D in the building. Shout out to Miss D. How you guys doing? Hopefully all is well. All right. So you see your boy Jim Clyburn sitting back there looking like Uncle Ben's. You know what I'm saying? Now, he also that was him at the airport, see, giving Joe Biden a hug, giving him a handshake. Can you help me? I'm going to need a little bit of help. These people need to be ran up off the block. For real, for real. Ran up off the block. And then the block need to be torched. You know what I'm saying?
I heard about this place. His first stop, a black-owned barbershop in downtown Columbia.
So the first place that Joe Biden went to was a black-owned barbershop in downtown Columbia. Now, mind you, this is South Carolina. One of the first pander moves that the Democrats plan on doing is they plan on doing their primary first in South Carolina to pander to the black community. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What in the hell, policy-wise, do we get out of the primary being in South Carolina? Is there any sustainable dynamic value in that? If there is, give me a thumbs up. If there's not, give me a thumbs down.
In re-election mode with his focus on young and black voters who support.
With his focus on young and black voters, all right? Young and black voters. Now, we're going to test the recall here, all right? Why is Joe Biden trying to get at young and black voters? Let me know in the comment section.
On young and black voters whose support has been slipping.
With the Palestinian-Israel war going on, I think my view personally has shifted on Biden.
I don't understand why she even cared about that. I care about the Palestinian-Israel war as, you know, from a content creator standpoint, because I like to talk about geopolitics. Why does she care about it, though? That's going to be something that makes you vote or not vote. Why in a video about black issues is the first thing that they got some racially ambiguous individual sitting up there talking about the Israel-Hamas war? Shout out to the anti-sheep. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Cameron. What's good with you? Shout out to Vlad. So, number one, right? The first, number one. Why are we talking about Israel-Hamas? Is that an issue? If you guys see that as an issue, give me an angry face. If you don't see it as an issue, give me a thumbs down.
Voters whose support has been slipping.
With the Palestinian-Israel war going on, I think my view personally has shifted on.
Now, check this out. I want y'all to look at her name. Her name is Nazia Alfred, and she's an Allen University student. Nazia Alfred. What do you guys think about the name Nazia Alfred? Nazia Alfred sounds like somebody who would be talking about the Israel-Palestinian war. She sounds like somebody that would be talking about that. Why is she featured in this particular segment?
View personally has shifted on Biden.
Gen Z, we want to see things getting done and not just hearing about pro-America, pro-freedom, and pro-democracy.
Now, what is he talking about? And why is he dressed like somebody from a 70s TV show? What is he talking about? Let me ask you guys this question. I'm going to run it back on him. Okay.
We want to see things getting done.
Things getting done like what? Shout out to Black Spider. What's good with it, Black Spider? Things getting done like what? Something's getting done every day. What in particular do you want to see get done? Shout out to Cameron Jones. Cameron Jones says he has no girlfriend and plays Dungeons and Dragons all day. Facts. He collects every single kind of card that you can possibly think of, too.
And not just hearing about pro-America, pro-freedom, and pro-democracy.
What does that even mean? Not just hearing about pro-America, pro-freedom, and pro-democracy. What are you talking about? Let me ask you guys a question. Does anything that this individual said relate to you or have anything to do with anything you're interested in regards to the 2024 election? If it does, give me a thumbs up. If it does not, give me a thumbs down. Let's continue.
16-term Congressman
So now we got Uncle Ben right here. Shout out to the Zatarans, man.
Jim Clyburn leading the charge for Biden here, just as he
Jim Clyburn leading the charge for Biden. He's leading the charge for Biden. Now, if we know what time Biden is on and if we know what Biden has been doing and Jim Clyburn is the general in Joe Biden's army, is that a flex? If that's a flex, give me a thumbs up. If it's not a flex, give me a thumbs down.
16-term Congressman Jim Clyburn leading the charge for Biden here, just as he did 4 years ago.
There's no better way for good people to break their silence than to march to the ballot boxes.
For what? How many of y'all want me to make a shirt that says Couch 2024? If y'all want me to make a shirt that says Couch 2024, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. What is this dude talking about? He's not telling anybody to get anything out of their votes. He's just simply telling you to run to the ballot and vote. What we need everybody to do is, because everybody doesn't watch social media, make sure that you show people these videos. Make sure that you show them these people are not doing anything. This is a old clown right here. This is an old fossil that needs to be retired. He's not encouraging anybody to do anything that's going to be sustainable. Jim Clyburn is paid by the AIPAC. How many people are aware of that? This dude is a shill. He gets a paycheck from the AIPAC. The entire Congressional Black Caucus does. How many people are aware of what the AIPAC is and what they do? Yeah, facts. That is exactly what Clyburn is. If you're going to be one of the hats, you may as well put one on your bald head. Right? You may as well set something up on top of your bald head if you're going to get a paycheck from him. But let's see what else he says.
An NBC News survey in November showed 61% of black voters would choose Biden over a Republican. In 2020, NBC News exit polls showed Biden won 87% of the black vote.
What does he need to do to make people feel like he's done a good job?
So now this is a problem right here. What does Joe Biden need to do to make people feel like they've done a good job? Nobody cares about feelings. What kind of evidence can Joe Biden provide to show that he has done a good job? I don't feel anything. Shout out to Shatera. What's good with it, Shatera? I have no feelings. You know what I'm saying? I got cold blood and dead eyes. The only thing I go off of is data. What data can someone provide me to show that Joe Biden has done anything meaningful? The reason why they want to make you feel that Joe Biden has done something is because actually he has not. And feelings, right? Feelings can create illusions and fool your brain and make you think things have happened, or make you think that things are better, or make you think things are worse. They're not solid, irrefutable pieces of fact. Would you guys agree? So when they ask Jim Clyburn, what can Joe Biden do to make people feel, that should be an immediate red flag that Jim Clyburn, Joe Biden, or none of the Democrats have any intention on actually doing anything. Their intention is to continue to make you feel like they've done something. They said it right here. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. It's not about feeling. People need to stop feeling. See, the fact that they led with this, talking about feeling, they know exactly what they're doing. As a matter of fact, by doing that, they're actually going off WS talking points, using WS talking points to attempt to try to manipulate you. Jim Clyburn has got to make his paycheck. He's got to get his paycheck. The danger in this election is not for anybody other than the black puppets. And the reason why is because what is being shown now is that they're not worth their paycheck. And if you're not worth your paycheck, guess what dries up? Shout out to Carla. What's good with it, Carla? So now a lot of these people, Jim Clyburn, Cori Bush, all of these clowns, they all now got to start scrambling and really try to make an effort to improve some of this horrible polling, or they know that it's gonna be a wrap. They better start working on a podcast. They better get themselves a StreamYard account because it's about to be over. It's about to be over.
I think he's done a good job, and that's what we've got to do, is get
So now Jim Clyburn says he thinks that Joe Biden has done a good job. Done a good job doing what exactly? Keeping the economy at a 40-year high, being involved in wars, sending military aid all over the place, or failing to secure the border. What has Joe Biden done a good job at? I'm going to ask you guys this question. People watching on the replay, we need your participation. What has Joe Biden done a good job at, other than make himself look like a complete idiot and make the United States look like we're a leaderless country? Other than that, what has Joe Biden done a good job at?
He's done a good job, and that's what we've got to do, is get people to see that.
Clyburn,
Get people to see that instead of actually showing that he has done a good job. So you want us to see your delusion instead of you actually producing tangible evidence. Let me ask you guys a question. Has Joe Biden improved the racial wealth gap? If Joe Biden has improved the racial wealth gap, give me a thumbs up. If Joe Biden has not improved the racial wealth gap, give me a thumbs down. Has any action that Joe Biden has taken improved your day-to-day life with any specific policy? Shout out to David Brown. David Brown says nope. Ms. D says nope. Shout out to Big Mo. What's good with it? Shout out to Tricky Nick. What's good with it? Yeah. Shout out to, speaking of which, shout out to Tricky Nick. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let me see. Let's get it, right?
You ain't black.
There you go. There you go. That's what Joe Biden good for. Shout out to Ms. Nisi. What's good with it, Ms. Nisi? That's what Joe Biden good for right there. Now, he should have went to this barbershop in these churches and been like this.
You ain't black.
But he didn't do that. You guys notice that? He didn't do that. It's an awkward old man, isn't it? He's so awkward, he can't even stand upright. These are two old, failing, elderly, decrepit, 1 foot in the grave pieces of garbage. I bet you between Jim Clyburn and Joe Biden, they got 15 IQ points. And that's them combined. I bet you a rat could beat them at a crossword puzzle. It's ridiculous.
again making the case for Biden in a state where Clyburn is revered, a leading voice in black communities for decades.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Shout out to everybody that's here. Jim Clyburn, leading quote-unquote voice of the black community. I would say he's the leading voice of the black congressional talkers, but I would not say that he's a leading voice of the quote-unquote black community. In what sectors of the black community is Jim Clyburn a leader of? Facts. Shout out to Tricky Nick. 15 IQ points and 17 working hair follicles. Facts. Do you all consider Jim Clyburn an exemplary, influential black male leader? If you guys do, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me an angry face. Shout out to Ron. Ron says he's the lead bootlick. Facts. He's a soul licker. Man, he's licking them boots. So now here's the question. Why is NBC going on their national platform spreading disinformation? Because if nobody sees Jim Clyburn as a leader, then that means that what they're saying is disinformation. So now why is this disinformation allowed to be posted without an embedded correction or without an embedded fact check or without an embedded reference? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. We got 44 people watching and we got 36 likes. If everybody can take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 60, that would be great.
He calls himself President Biden's validator.
That's what we've got to do between now and November. Tell people.
Why does President Biden need a validator? Let me ask you guys a question. Who's Trump's validator? Why does President Biden need a validator? He's not a validator. He's a quote-unquote attempted Negro whisperer. He's trying to either charm or shame other black people into voting for Joe Biden so that he can continue to keep his pockets fat and pay his family members lots of money from the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, which is their little cash in account deposit that they use to pay their family members. Jim Clyburn needs to be removed. Shout out to Shatera. Shatera said, because he be lying, Rob. Facts, he be lying. Why you always lying?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I think Blade was talking about your boy Jim Clyburn. I think Blade was talking about your boy Jim Clyburn. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we've got to do between now and November. Tell people what it is that we've done.
Tell people what it is that we've done. Now, why would you got to tell people that what it is that you've done? You have to tell people what it is that you've done because you have nothing to show them, you old fool. That's why. You old, senile, Alzheimer's, escaped dementia patient. Let me remind you. You don't have anything to show. That's why anytime somebody asks you about reparations, you act like you need to take your antacid. Because you don't have anything to show. Let me ask you guys this question. What is there to show? Appreciate you, Vlad. Shout out to Vlad. Make sure you guys show Vlad some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat and some flames for Vlad. He shared this, and so should you guys. Also, if you guys haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Also, remember, don't move a muscle. Stay in the stream. It'll take you right to the next one. I had to do a quick breaking news emergency stream on this nonsense, though. Like, this is absurd.
Tell them what the rescue plan is all about. Tell them what the
rescue plan is. You mean the one that you decided to take off Twitter after TD Hip Hop Media made that video and you got wind of it? That one? The American Rescue Plan. Let me ask you all a question. What did the American Rescue Plan do for black people? We got 49 brilliant people watching this who watch this kind of content like a hawk. So there should be 49 people who are able to tell me what this fool is talking about. He just said the American Rescue Plan. Who did the American Rescue Plan rescue? Let's start there. Right, exactly. That's exactly what I asked, Tiff. Who was rescued? Facts.
It's all about. Tell them what the infrastructure bill is all about.
What's the infrastructure bill all about? Is it about creating jobs for black people? Is it about creating opportunities for black people to get into business early in the renewable energy sector so that we can begin to close the racial wealth gap by getting market dominance in a particular growing industry? All of this stuff that he's talking about is nonsense. None of this stuff that he's talking about benefited us specifically. Now, there's a lot of times because we live in America, that stuff just isn't going to benefit us specifically. However, for the stuff that doesn't benefit us specifically, he can't even show where a concentrated large amount of people were able to utilize it and are still benefiting from it. He can't do that. See, to me, there should be two standards, right? All groups of people get stuff specifically for them. So them sitting there saying that they can't give us anything is a bunch of nonsense. However, there's the blanket programs, the lift all voice, the lift every sale programs, right? In those programs, they can't even show where a concentrated amount of us made any kind of sustainable benefit that allowed us to generate wealth and decrease the racial wealth gap. Yeah, shout out to MT. MT, right, the rescue plan. Which one? The one for Israel or the one for Ukraine? Facts. Because they're the only people that I know that got a rescue plan. Make it make sense.
The campaign also taking that message to young voters with college visits, social media posts, and radio spots. University of South Carolina junior Kyle Brantley supports Biden, but says students want a more visible seat at the table.
When the campaign understands that and realizes that.
What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on right here, guys? What is this? What's going on here? Why is one guy being interviewed and there's two guys sitting at the table? What's going on here? I guess the Democrats forgot that there's a such thing as straight black men. They forgot about that. Tricky Nick said this booger flicker thinks that he knows something. He might not even be a booger flicker. He might be a dookie flicker.
Now, and especially moving forward, they'll be able to connect.
Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with
the foundation is already there, and now we just have to get them reelected so that they can continue.
What foundation, man? Listen, man. What foundation? What are we talking about? Yeah, Dookie Demon. Facts. Dookie Demon.
Continue the work.
Aaron, making South Carolina the first official Democratic primary was also a nod to black voters.
All right, well, thanks for telling us about the shilling. You know what I'm saying? Top shilling. What more can I say? Top shilling. I don't know how this is a nod to black voters. I mean, what are we supposed to do with this? Let me ask you guys a question. What are we supposed to do with this? I can tell you the best thing to do with this, just don't nobody show up. That is the best possible thing that could happen with this. Would you guys agree? Vlad, yes, sir. Biden chilling. You know what I'm saying? Clyburn chilling. What more can I say? Top shilling.
It was, Jose. A campaign official told me that moving South Carolina and Nevada earlier on the calendar elevates the diverse groups that President Biden will need to win in November. Jose?
Thanks for watching.
All right, yeah, so there's that. All right, so we're going to take a look at this USA Today article real quick. And I think that people really need to start voicing to Democrats, hey, man, check this out, man. We see these clown tactics that y'all using, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason why they use these tactics, these are cultural tactics that the Democrats use. The Democrats are based off of a particular group of people's culture that have completely taken over both parties of the United States, but mainly the Democrats, which is why you see a lot of the stuff that you see. Like I said, if you're not getting what I'm saying right here, get it from this. All of these people, especially Jim Clyburn, the entire Congressional Black Caucus, they are bought and paid by the AIPAC. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If the AIPAC is paying these people's paychecks, my question for you all is, what do you think that those people will do as far as priorities for you or I, if they're getting their paycheck from other sources? That's my question. They've been getting legacy paychecks from the AIPAC. Jim Clyburn may as well be in the same political party as Nikki Haley because he gets a lot of his checks from the same place that Nikki Haley gets hers. Okay? Hey, that would be crazy if they had to bring a U-Haul, if they had to bring a U-Haul to the inauguration because so many people wrote in the couch that an actual couch won the presidential election. It beat Biden and Megatron. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 60 people watching and we got 47 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 80, that would be great. So now here it says, you are the reason Donald Trump is a loser. Which is interesting because I think that there's a lot of people that kind of either are indifferent about that or people that just don't care. And people that are listening to this are like, yeah, but he's probably not going to be a loser this time. And you've been a loser your entire time in office. And we're the reason for that as well. You know what I'm saying? We're the reason why Trump is a loser, and we're the reason why you're a loser. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is interesting because the people that wrote this article, one of them's name is Swapna Vengupal Ramaswamy. Now, Ramaswamy is not a name that is not a common last name that you hear every day, at least around these parts. You know, when I say these parts, I'm talking about the Western hemisphere of the planet. just saying. So now here it says, in his second trip to South Carolina this month, just 1 week before the Democratic presidential primary, President Joe Biden sought to build momentum among black voters in a state that saved his campaign in 2020. It saved his campaign and destroyed a lot of what we got going on. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Here in this article, they're admitting that South Carolina saved Biden's campaign. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you agree with that? That South Carolina saved Joe Biden's campaign? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. You guys agree? South Carolina saved the campaign? South Carolina saved the campaign like he won a championship ring? Feel like he got on a championship ring. Yeah? Is that what happened there? Now, my thing is, let's just say that South Carolina did save the campaign. Like they won a championship game. You know what I'm saying? My question is, what did South Carolina get? What if they're saying that South Carolina saved the campaign, what did South Carolina get for being super state? Did they get anything? What can South Carolina come to this channel with and say, this is our token of appreciation for saving Joe Biden's wrinkled face? I don't think there's much that can be shown. What do you guys think? You guys think that there's much that can be shown? I don't think that there is. You're the reason I'm president. You're the reason Kamala Harris is a storied vice president. You are the reason Donald Trump is a defeated former president, he said Saturday night as the state Democratic Party's fundraiser at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds in Columbia. You're the reason Donald Trump is a loser, and you're the reason we're going to beat him again. You're actually the reason why you're going to lose. Joe Biden himself is the reason why he's going to lose. Would you guys agree? Joe Biden himself is the reason why he's going to lose. The audience stood on its feet, waving red, white, and blue Biden-Harris signs, chanting 4 more years, 4 more years. These people are gluttons for punishment. Today, Black small businesses are starting up at the fastest in 30 years, he said, adding that Black unemployment was at the lowest level ever recorded in American history. That's false. How many people are subscribed to TD Hip Hop Media's channel? If you're subscribed to TD Hip Hop Media, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to TD Hip Hop Media, give me a thumbs down. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9, the first stream sponsor. Definitely appreciate it. We got a stream sponsor on the board. Shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9. Make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat. Lloyd Sky 9 says, having roots in South Carolina, those people are largely broken mentally. They like nothingness. Hopefully this means they are awakening to this. Yeah, no doubt. So it looks like most everybody is subscribed to TD Hip Hop Media. Vlad's not subscribed to TD Hip Hop Media. Make sure, do me a favor, if one of the moderators in here could drop the link to TD Hip Hop Media's channel for Vlad so that he can go over there and check it out. Go over there and watch all the videos. He has a video on there where he breaks down the misinformation in the Black unemployment claim, and that's important. That's important. Everybody should fully understand the falsehoods in that Black unemployment claim. Okay, and shout out to you guys for hitting that times 7 combo in your face. You know what I'm saying? Remember Dave Chappelle said, in your face. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. So look at Biden looking crazy. Let's just take a minute to appreciate how tightly his skin is wrapped over his head. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So now here it says the Palmetto State's new status as the Democratic Party's first official primary on February 3rd, appending 50 years of history, ensures that voters of color, who are they? We talking about Nikki Haley? Have a major voice in choosing the nominee much earlier in the process. When did anybody ask permission to just start calling Black people people of color? Do you guys remember when that was done? Does anybody remember the official date and who signed off on the okay to just start declaring black people as people of color? That is part of that particular. Listen, that particular party uses a technique to psychologically beat people down and to attempt to have people not understand their history and know who they are. So what this is them attempting to put all non-white people in a giant mixing vat to confuse people more than they already are. These are cultural tactics that come from a specific culture, the specific culture of people who heavily funds many of these politicians. These are cultural tactics. Okay? You'll see this done all the time. These people, these are the people that are paying people to try to change American history to we're a quote unquote country of immigrants to further distort people's historical understanding of their own origins. Because once you understand your own origins, then you understand, quote unquote, who keeps it real, quote unquote, versus who, quote unquote, doesn't. Some people keep it real, some people don't. You got to understand what I'm saying here. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says you cannot be the Democratic nominee and win a general election unless you have overwhelming support from voters of color, and that includes Black, Brown, and Asian American and Pacific Islanders, Biden wrote in a letter to the DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee in 2022. All right, so again, voters of color. So basically, I don't know why white people get to stand alone. Because if there is going to be a such thing as quote unquote people of color, that makes white people the minority. So I don't know why white people get to stand alone. But it is what it is. That's how you know who came up with these terms. The only thing that Biden wants to do is get votes. And he wants to get votes for the minimum cost. He wants to get votes for the minimum cost of doing business. All right. Shout out to JW. What's good with it, bro? A slew of recent polls have shown Biden's support from voters of quote-unquote color has fallen since 2020. A recent poll from the Roper Center showed a major drop in support among Black voters from 87% to 2020 to 63% currently. Now, here goes my question. At that rate of decline, is it going to get lower by election time? And should it get lower? I'm going to tell you guys something, and pay close attention to what I'm saying. With all of the backlash and rejection that the Democrats are facing these days, if you ask me, now the Democrats, after 60 years, are finally getting the results that they put 60 years worth of work into. And I'm happy for them. You should get results from all the work that you put in, right? The Democrats gave us 60 years of damaging work, and now their results are paying off. I just don't think that they expected the results to look like how they look, which shows how dumb they are. Because when you've been stabbing somebody in the back for 60 years, it's either they bleed to death or they take the knife from you and, you know, reciprocate. And being that the Democrats are very selfish, being that the Democrats like to self-serve, I don't think that they like reciprocity. Call it a hunch. Paying attention to racial diversity has never been as important to the Democratic Party. 4 in 10 Democratic registered voters are now non-white, which is Black, Hispanic, Asian, and other non-white racial groups, which isn't true because arguably Hispanic and Asian are white racial groups, but whatever. Compared with 17% of the GOP, according to a 2020 Pew report. Hours ahead of the event, people started gathering at the fairgrounds for the event inside of the American flag. Now, here's my question. How can a language be a race? Let's start there. How can a language be a race, ladies and gentlemen? Democratic voters are now non-white, and then they have black in lowercase. We are in lowercase letters, and everybody else is capitalized, which means something. Oh, that means something. Hispanic is capitalized, which Hispanic's not even a race. Asian is capitalized. The article is about us. They're trying to pander to us. We're not even capitalized. Things to notice. These are things to pay very close attention to. Hours ahead of the event, people started gathering at the fairground for the event. Inside, an American flag hung high on a wall. White mugs were stacked on the table, touting the state's new status. South Carolina Democrats pick winners, it reads. First in the nation Democratic presidential primary. So now what? South Carolina is supposed to have the first presidential Democratic primary. Let's just say, for instance, Joe Biden wins. Joe Biden wins, and then he doesn't do anything except for tell people on the phone that we got what we got because they did the primary there. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, my thing is, what I want, right, is instead of these mainstream media outlets sitting here crying because their watch hours and their viewership is getting obliterated by people who are on social media with the constraints of social media algorithms shadow banning our content, and we're still getting more watch hours, more views, and getting more influence on people than they are. Why don't they debunk everything that we're saying instead of calling people names, instead of calling people Russian bots? Instead of coming out with fake reports from the University of Harvard calling people Russian bots. I think that we should rename the Democrats the Disinformation-crats. All in favor of renaming the Democrats the Disinformation-crats, give me a thumbs up. If you're not in favor, give me a thumbs down and let me know why you're not in favor. I think that the Disinformation-crats has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I think he's got a nice ring to it. You know what I'm saying? Nice little makeover. So now here it says, in the days leading up to Saturday's event, some high-profile Black Democratic lawmakers, including House Democratic leader, Representative Hakeem Jeffries, everybody's favorite, Representative Jim Clyburn, stumped for the Biden-Harris campaign. Okay. Clyburn is credited with helping Biden win South Carolina in 2020 and reigniting his then struggling campaign. Now, here's my question. What is Clyburn credited with helping the Black community win from the mistake of Joe Biden's vote? Shout out to Alvin Learning. What's good with it, bro? That's my question, guys. Now, if we're going to credit Jim Clyburn, right? We're going to credit Jim Clyburn with helping Joe Biden swing that campaign around. What did Joe Biden do to help swing that racial wealth gap around? Call him the full of craps. That sounds like what Corey Holcomb calls certain people, the bullshit a lots. I feel good about the campaign, Clyburn told USA Today. Clearly, Jim Clyburn hasn't been reading. adding that the campaign will continue to tout accomplishments that resonate with voters, such as efforts to reduce student debt. The only thing that they can tell you about is efforts to something that failed. That's a bad sign. How is an effort that failed an accomplishment? Let's just start there. How's that an accomplishment? He said they're going to tout accomplishments. You failed. You accomplished failure. So now we're bragging about accomplishing failure because we got it done? Is that where we're at? Is that where we're at nowadays? You know what I'm saying? Now, you know the Democrats support backdooring now. They the main ones that support it. You have people sitting up there asking stuff like this.
Why are you gay?
You know what I'm saying? You go down there messing around with Biden and Jim Clyburn, they're going to have you sounding like Cobra Commander out here.
Idiots! I'm surrounded by incompetent idiots!
Are you screaming and going crazy? You know what I'm saying? I bet you Cobra Commander had high blood pressure. What y'all think? Cobra Commander need to take his damn medicine for real, for real. It was always some stuff going on, and they used to mess with him too, man. Zartan and Destro, and especially them twins. I forgot what they named, but them twins used to really mess with him bad. You know what I'm saying? Like them twins used to have him going crazy, and then when they created Serpenter, it was really a wrap. Serpenter just knocking him around all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Keith Evans. Keith Evans said the South Carolina residents are already saying to vote for Nimrata. Oh, yeah, that's their name. Tomax and Zaymot. Yeah, that's their name. She's going to lose South Carolina even after being governor from 2011 to 2017. You know what? There's a really good video that kind of goes in on Nikki Haley, and I think we're going to talk about it. Not right now, but at some point, because I got another stream on the Magatron channel that I want to do. Because there's something going on with Nikki Haley, because she should have been dropped out of the race. The fact that she's still in is to me a red flag. It's a warning sign. Somebody knows something, and they told her something, and I think it's something that people should watch for, because she's going against the wishes of the entire Republican Party. She's losing. She's getting destroyed. And for whatever reason, she's staying in. It's like she's sitting around waiting for something to happen so that she kind of don't have to use the effort. So it's like, okay, I already know that this is going to happen. So I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to wait it out. And I'm going to deal with all these embarrassments until they finally get Trump out of my way. And then, I can go against Joe Biden, which Nikki Haley and Joe Biden are the same person. They're the same person. They're both neocons, both warmongers. They come from the same party that George Bush and Barack Obama was in, that fake Democrat, fake Republican party. That's actually the same party, where all they do is talk crap about each other and then get in office and do the exact same thing as the one did the year before that. You guys remember that? So now here it said, now this the dude right here that is the Democrats' other person. How many people heard about him? Representative Dean Phillips from Minnesota. He's running against Joe Biden, which is interesting because this guy, at the very least, can complete sentences, and he lost against Joe Biden, which really shows something special about the Democratic voters. This dude is young, and he can complete sentences. And they, without any type of weapons to their heads, chose Joe Biden. Let's just do with that what you might. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, I'm here today because I will not stand down. I will not sit down. I will not be quiet. And I will not stay in line when Donald Trump is easing his way back into that White House. I'm here because I want to win in November, he said. So my invitation to President Biden is to pass the torch to a new generation ready to take the stage, ready to take that man on, and ready to win. Elaine Reed of Darlington, South Carolina, said she was glad to see Biden show up at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston earlier this month and return again on Saturday. How could anybody be happy that Joe Biden came somewhere where they was at? This is what she said. I said, hallelujah. Reed said of Biden's visit to the historic church where 9 black churchgoers were deleted by a white man in 2015. I'm saying the same thing this time. He's trying to make it happen. Well, it seems like when white people go to that church, bad stuff happens to black people. Last time, you know what I'm saying? Those 9 black churchgoers were deleted. And the time after that, Joe Biden became president. That church don't have a good history of interacting with you know what I'm saying, with them folks. They might want to consider that. Look at patterns. You know what I'm saying? Look at patterns. So now here it says Reed and the other South Carolinians, I should say, said it was important that there's a good turnout of black voters February 3rd to show support for Biden's campaign to move forward. If black voters show up and Biden wins, that no one should care. What needs to happen is if that's the case, they should have a prearranged quid pro quo agreement that Biden getting in office is as good as us getting a bunch of tangibles. Would you guys agree? That should be the only reason why anybody's excited about anything. If Biden wins, then that guarantees that we get a bunch of tangibles. However, nobody at that church made that provision. They're probably not even thinking along those lines, and most likely that's probably not going to happen. But again, where are we dealing with? We're dealing with a church. We're dealing with a church. We're dealing with the hope people. You know what I'm saying? This election is so important, it does threaten democracy, she said. We don't hear enough about how bad Trump is. I honestly, if depending on what mainstream media you watch, you do. That's literally all you hear. That's literally all you hear. Some of the longest streams that these mainstream media outlets have done on YouTube have been the coverage of the trials about January 6th and the trials, Stormy Daniels and all of that. Bad tweets. We hear about how bad Trump is damn near every single day. Shout out to Torian Rain. Torian says, not only are you dealing with the church, but those of a certain generation as well. Facts. Super facts. Shout out to Patricia Slade, B1. What's good with it? Reed, who is 77, said, while the campaign should focus on encouraging young people to vote, it shouldn't neglect older black voters. Of course not, because that's your only hope. This is your only hope. This is your only hope. This campaign no voting campaign should be focused on encouraging people to vote. These campaigns should be focused on selling us what you're going to do to us. And that's it. You're the one that has to hope. You better hope that you sell us so that we buy what you're selling and go vote for you. See, that's what needs to happen. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. It's time for people to, everybody likes boycotting. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the boycott people. Boycott hope. It's time for somebody else to hope. It's time for us to be ironclad and have certainty. You better hope we vote for you. Because if we do vote for you, the only way we're going to vote for you is if there's certainty that you're going to deliver. Or else next time you're going to get delivered a one-way ticket right out of the White House. That's the kind of time people need to be on. There is no negotiations. You got to take a position of power and only work with ultimatums. Only. Only ultimatums. You do this or you will never see one of our votes again. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of energy people need to start coming with. Don't play with these people. You don't play with a poisonous snake. You know what I'm saying? You control a poisonous snake. Because if you don't control a poisonous snake, it get all over and bite you. And next thing you know, it got you. So now here it says you've got to turn up at the bingo game. So they're trying to manipulate people. You got to turn up at the senior centers so that we can meet people who have even less brains than us. And we can manipulate them. This is all manipulation. They need to show up. If they're going to show up to a senior center, they need to show up to the senior center and tell those black people at the senior center how they're going to protect their Social Security and also how they're going to help them with the Social Security to build generational wealth for the future generations and close that wealth gap. And if those older people buy it, then those older people buy it and they hold them to the standard. No forgiveness. No letting anybody off the hook. This isn't fishing. Don't let anybody off the hook. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. The reason why you got to turn up at bingo games, you got to turn up at senior centers is because the way that the Democrats have failed, people have been unable to create business centers where you can show up at, which is exactly where they want it. They want to be dealing with a crippled voter base so they can hook, line, and sink you on hope. And they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Look at this. You've got to show up to churches, said Reed, adding that it's often seniors urging others to go to the poll. We are the ones they look to. Which one? There's a bunch of different things that we can do to deal with this. Keep people out of these senior centers. Keep people out of church. You want to start trying to infiltrate and attack places? We can play the game. Remove people. If the black pastors actually were not getting paychecks from these people, they could say because of disinformation and targeting of the black community, from here on out during election season, we're going to Zoom meet our churches until after election season. The doors are going to be shut. The doors are going to be shut. That's what a real pastor would do. If it was a real pastor that actually cared about outcomes and results, man, we shutting this door down, man, until the end of election season. Y'all can do the Zoom meetings when it comes to church, and I'm not going to allow the Democrats to use our house of worship as a pandering location. That's what a real pastor would do. Let me ask y'all this question. How many pastors out here doing that? Any of them actually doing that? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 76 people watching and we got 78 likes. If everybody can take a moment and bang on that like button and get us to 100, that would be great. Meanwhile, some local activists were busy knocking on doors and making calls, urging voters to cast ballots in the February 3rd primary. What are they getting for casting these ballots? These people got a lot of nerve. This is the same as asking somebody to work and not get compensation for it. If you guys agree that this is the exact same as asking somebody to work and not getting compensation for it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that these are the same, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. What's good with it, bro? We've got to do everything we can, said Dorothy Jenkins, president of the Charleston chapter of the NAACP. This is a critical time. Man, the NAACP was absolutely disgusting and disrespectful towards the black grassroots. The NAA should never have an influence on anything ever again, except for how hard you slam the door. That's the only thing that the NAACP should have an influence over is how hard you slam the door in their face. That's it. Jenkins said it hasn't gone unnoticed that Biden has visited the state twice in recent weeks and that Harris was there recently as MLK Day. Of course she would show up on MLK Day. Oh, I had a dream. I had a dream that we had a Kwanzaa tree at my house and the leaves on it was made out of collard greens. If you don't shut your goofy ass up and sit down somewhere. Kamala Harris got more experience with maple syrup than she do with collard greens, grits, okra, or anything like that. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. She sit up there talking about all this. Man, let me stop. Shout out to Toria. Toria said, were those the same collard greens Kamala picked? Yeah, she picked them and then put them on her Kwanzaa tree. You know what I'm saying? She picked them and then put them on her Kwanzaa tree. She's a whole clown. Next time when she go in the Breakfast Club, she'll have a story about the song that she listened to back in her day when Bone Thugs and Harmony made a song with the Migos. And Charlamagne will sit there like a goofball, looking like a goldfish. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. No, you don't, because it never happened. What are you talking about, dude? They're doing their best, no question about it, she said. Not everyone at the event supported a Biden bid. Andrew Yang, a 2020 presidential candidate who is now supporting Phillips, told reporters if the goal is for the insiders to avoid ruffling any of their own feathers, then obviously they should just continue with their coronation of Joe Biden, he said. Now, you guys remember what Galvatron said. Galvatron said, Starscream, is this a coronation or bad comedy? It's all bad comedy. You know what I'm saying? But if the goal is to actually defeat Donald Trump in the fall, the Democratic Party owes the country a nominee who can win. They owe the country at the bare minimum a nominee that can complete a sentence and stay upright when they walk. Because what's been shown is that you don't have to be able to do those things and you can somehow win. So now winning cannot be the floor of the standard of what is required anymore. Now you actually have to make standards. You have to be able to walk. You have to be able to think clearly. You have to be able to talk. You have to be able to say your ABCs. You have to be able to count to 10. You have to not forget where you're at for an entire 24-hour period. Yeah, Tricky Nick Busy Bone said, my nigga just had to get business. So can I get a witness? Yeah. What you know about that? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, but if the goal is to actually defeat Donald Trump in the fall, the Democratic Party owes the country a nominee who can win. I don't think that there's any Democratic nominee who can win. The Democrats have completely destroyed any chances that they have to win. They've had a horrible showing at being in charge of the country, and that is going to cost them. And they've had a horrible showing at doing anything to show appreciation to their most loyal voter base, which is black people, and that is also going to cost them. They are going to pay the ultimate price this election. They're going to pay a historic ultimate price. And it's probably just going to get worse from here on out. Democrats elevated South Carolina to the first in the nation, expecting the resources and energy of a competitive race, he said. Instead, it just became the Joe Biden cakewalk, said Yang, who attended the South Carolina event with Phillips. That's not good for the party. That's not good for the country. All right. So, shout out to everybody, man. Don't move a muscle. Everybody is welcome to come to the next stream on Magatron. All you got to do is just stay in the stream as the outro music plays. It'll take you right into the next stream. That next stream will start within between 3 and 5 minutes. All right. What I need everybody to do is, just like the title says, after the stream, if you watch this on the replay, list all of the problems with this news report, because I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot. All right. Real quick, before we bounce up out of here, I want to shout out my man Lloyd Sky 9 with the $5 super chat. Please make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in this life. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour, got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee, that's on Kiwi, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that fake. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him.